I got locked up at 19 years old for 2.5 years for selling drugs to an undercover cop. And I was sitting here this morning drinking my coffee, hanging out with my wife and 2 kids, and I was just reflecting on what it was like growing up as the black sheep of the family. Maybe you can relate to that, maybe not, but I was the middle child. My older brother was the all-star athlete, good in school. My younger sister is the nurse, good with academics. And for me, yes, I was a decent athlete, but I didn't give a rip about anything unless I cared about it, right? If it was school, I didn't want anything to do with it because I didn't care about what they were teaching me. And then I realized, oh, if I'm not good at school because I barely can pay attention and I don't even care about what they're teaching me, how will I ever be successful? Because they teach you, go to school, get good grades, get a job, and then work that job till you're 75 years old and retire off 40% of your income. Well, if you can't get good at that, you'll never be successful. So here I was in my teenage years, like, okay, screw off. If I can't be successful because I can't get good grades, I'm gonna hang out with these idiots and we're gonna go party and we're gonna go sell drugs and I'm gonna go relate with them. Well then, I went over to the ALC because I failed out of high school. The ALC is the Alternative Learning Center, or the asshole's last chance. And when you go to a school like that, guess the type of people you're hanging out with. You already know, my life went downhill fast, but it was the best thing that ever happened to me was getting locked up because I needed to get smacked in the face with reality. And I made a decision. The day I got locked up, I said, God, if you give me another chance, I'll never go back to that lifestyle. And I opened the Bible at some point in that journey of 2.5 years of being locked up. I was in a program called Teen Challenge, which is a faith-based Bible boot camp that I was in for 1.5 years, court-ordered. And if I failed it, I went to prison for 9 years. And so I locked in, I was focused, I wanted to get through all this so I could start my life over again. And I opened up the Bible to Galatians 6:9. Don't get tired of doing what is good. At just the right time, you'll reap a harvest of a blessing if you don't give up. And that's when I started to decide to stack wins. I wanted to find people that had what I wanted. I wanted to find people that were moving and shaking, that were successful. I wanted to find a routine that I could dial in on, that I could stack wins and compound those over time. One thing my mentor taught me, he said, simple daily disciplines versus simple daily errors in judgment compounded over time, and that's how you're gonna change your life. And so when I got out of jail, my girlfriend, my high school sweetheart, picked me up. She's now my wife. And I had a garbage bag full of clothes that wasn't even mine. And that's where I started. And I had to go get a job. I had to save up some cash to buy a car, and that's what I did. I got a job at LA Fitness selling memberships, and then I bought a $600 94 Honda Accord, and my wheels were spinning. I was looking for something different, and I ended up meeting a mentor of mine who showed me this industry of network marketing, and it just gave me a vehicle. It gave me a vehicle where I had mentorship guidance, but also where I could learn and earn at the same time, and that's what's changed everything for me. You are a product of your environment. The reason I went to jail, the reason I got locked up, because I was hanging out with idiots, I was hanging out with people that were doing just that, right? I wanted to change my circle so bad. So I started to think, what do I want my life to look like one day? And I drew it out on a piece of paper, I thought about it in my mind, I put it on paper, and then I thought about it every single day, and I went to stack wins. Well, one of those things that I wanted was a dream lake home for my future family. And so that's what we have, and it's just the craziest thing to even say that, because knowing where I was back in my teenage years, I was that kid who I graduated high school 2 years late, I got locked up for 2.5 years, I have 2 felonies on my record, but I made a conscious decision to get good at something worth getting good at and stacking wins long enough to be able to build this dope life around me. And I'm about to get this workout in here in this gym, and I just want to say this message for anyone out there struggling, for anyone out there that might have been a black sheep, that doesn't think anything is possible for you, or all the odds are stacked against you, or whatever the case may be. As a black sheep, you are special. You are amazing, you are great, and you can do anything that you set your mind to. We're different, and God made us different for a reason. You can do anything you want. If you can think it in your mind, you can write it down on a piece of paper, and you can go make it happen in real life. That's what happened for me, and I started from nothing. So I promise you, if you go after it for what you really want, you can make anything happen. Let's go.